Hello, in this video I'll show you how to replace the injector wiring loom or the wiring harness on Audi A4 B6 1.9 TDI. The injectors on this car and the wiring loom are located underneath the valve cover, so in order to get access to the wiring loom and the injectors we need to remove the valve cover, which is held by all of these bolts. We also need to remove this hose for the crankcase. We're going to remove this timing belt cover, and also this this is the wiring loom for the injectors. We'll start by removing this air intake pipe. The air intake pipe is held by two metal clamps, one bolt, and then we can take it out afterwards. If the video is useful, please like and comment on the video and subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this. Next we're going to remove the clamp holding the crankcase hose and also remove the hose. Next we're going to disconnect the electrical connector for the wiring harness of the injectors. To disconnect it, there is a red tab that we need to push out, and then we turn anti-clockwise the connector, and then it will disconnect. I'll show you a closer view of how it's done. So this tab, you get a screwdriver and you just the red tab, you just push it out, not all the way but just a little bit. So you push it out just like that, and now you turn this electrical connector until it comes out, and that's how you disconnect the connector for the wiring harness of the injectors. Next we're going to remove those vacuum hoses. We're not going to disconnect anything, just remove them from there because there's a couple of bolts that hold the valve cover underneath. We're going to take them out of its place and just pull them to the side. Next we're going to remove all the bolts holding the valve cover. Now that all the bolts are removed, we're going to pull out the valve cover. And that's the valve cover out. Now we have access to the injectors and the injector wiring harness. This is the wiring harness right there with the electrical connector onto each injector. We can see the wires on the wiring harness are in very bad condition. The isolation is gone on most of them, and that's why they need to be replaced. You can see on most of them there is no isolation and the wires are showing, so that's why we're going to be replacing the wiring harness. First, we need to disconnect all the electrical connectors from the injectors. This is the pliers that I'm going to use, and all you need to is to pull out the connector. I'll show you in a second a closer view of where exactly I'm catching the connector and pulling it out. That's our electrical connectors disconnected. Now I'll show you a closer view of where exactly I catch the electrical connector. You see, I catch it right there like that and just pull it out. Next I'm going to remove the two nuts holding this electrical connector on the wiring harness. There's one on the top and one on the bottom. And as the wiring harness now loose, before I take out the wiring harness, I'm going to put those electrical connectors in place. There is a place for them where exactly they're sitting in order to go into those holes. If you have a new wiring harness, you see how they're done on the new one. It's very easy to put them in place and then pull out the harness. When you pull out the harness, there is no space on the back, so the plastic on the wiring harness might break on the old one, but on the new one it won't break because it's very elastic. Here it breaks because it's already burned from all the heat and stuff like that. But the new one, you'll be able to bend it and you put it through the hole on the back. Here's a closer view of where I put the electrical connectors, and now I'm going to pull out the harness. Like I said, when pulling out the harness, there is no space on the back, so we're going to have to bend the wiring harness, and because it's old harness, it might break. If anything from the harness falls into the engine, make sure you clean it, and like that. You continue to pull it out little by little, maybe use pliers just to help with taking it out. There is some metal springs that you might want to squeeze in order for them to go through the holes. It will come out eventually. And that's the wiring harness for the injectors out. You can see mine broke in the middle. That's how I took it out. The new one won't break because it's very elastic and it will go in. So this is the new wiring loom or wiring harness for the injectors. Now I'm going to put it in the exact same way. You can see the new wiring loom is very elastic, so it goes in with no problems. You just need to direct it and it will go in all the way. And that's the wiring loom in all the way. Now I'm going to put the electrical connectors onto the injectors and the two nuts on the electrical connector of the wiring loom on the outside. That's all the electrical connectors on the injectors connected. Make sure you press them in all the way until you hear a click. And now we're going to put the bolts on the outside of the electrical connector. Next, I'm going to clean the space where the valve cover gasket is going to be sitting. I'm going to clean it. If there's some silicone somewhere, I need to clean the silicone. clean it everywhere, and then afterwards clean the valve cover, replace the gasket, and then put the valve cover back on. This is the valve cover. Next I'm going to remove the gasket and clean the space where the gasket is sitting, and then put on the new gasket. That's the gasket installed on the valve cover. Before I put the valve cover back on the car, first I'm going to put some high temperature silicone on on some spaces, on some places on the gasket, to make sure it doesn't leak any oil. I'm going to put it on the half circles on the two sides, and also maybe on the corners, and that's it. The most important places to put some silicone on is those half circles on both sides, because it almost always leaks if there is no silicone. I also put on some silicone on the corners as well. Next I'm going to put the valve cover back on the engine. First I'm going to tighten the bolts by hand, starting from the middle bolts and going towards the outside. Once I tighten them by hand, next I'm going to get a ratchet and tighten them with a ratchet. The tightening torque for the bolts for the rocker cover is 9 Newton meters, like it shows in the manual. So I'm going to tighten them to 9 Newton meters. I will again start tightening the bolts from the middle towards the outside. And that's all the bolts tightened. Next I'm going to put on the electrical connector for the wiring loom. It's the same as you put it back out. Just put it on and turn it, and then press the red tab in. Then put this crankcase hose, and then we're done. Hopefully the video was helpful. Please like and comment on the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.